Hello, Atlanta. This is your host, Simone Jameson, for On the Guest List, brought to you by StreamATL.net. And tonight, I'm at the King Plow Art Center for the Road to Empower event, brought to you by Black Chefs Network. There will be some entrepreneurship going, as well as some networking between chefs and some local business owners. Stay tuned with us as we cover the speakers and some of the founders of this event. You do not want to miss it. Also, some great food. Stay tuned. Hey Atlanta, thank you for joining us here on the guest list. I'm your host, Simone Jameson. Standing here with me now is the grand orchestrator behind the Minority Sports Group, as well as the Black Chefs Network, Miss Courtney Mumford. How are you doing tonight, Courtney?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
I'm so glad you guys can come out and just celebrate with us while we, network and we educate, empower, and inspire. And that's the mission statements behind both organizations, actually.
Absolutely. Yeah, great to hear that. Now, with that in mind, what do you expect to take place tonight?
Just for those to come out and network, for those chefs can get antiquated and get, familiar with the small business owners here, and they can also network in order to empower themselves financially by doing education. They're able to learn certain traits, learn tips and trades from the different industry leaders that are here. And so it's just everything that they need as that platform for them to excel.
Perfect. Absolutely wonderful to hear that you're doing that here in Atlanta. Tell us what kind of fueled the passion behind you creating Minority Sports Group and the Black Chefs Network.
Well, us as minorities, we don't have anything as far as ownership. You just looking back, I just kind of took the analogy of, J's, Jordans. We'll fight over those, but why? Because we bought them. And so my thing is, instead of asking people in or trying to buy them, I'll just create it. You build it, they'll come. And so that's what I did, just to give them a platform, to finance it, to just do everything, just to give them that to excel. And so that's what essentially both of them are. The Minority Sports Group, that is using their passions to build their future. And so that's actually a community service scholarship work study program. And so it's really neat. I can't wait to unveil it later on this year. And I'm just excited.
Absolutely. Perfect to hear that. And what about the Black Chefs Network?
Black Chefs Network, it came about, I was looking at a major publication, and I didn't see any African American or minority faces. So immediately I started Googling the prior publications. I'm like, okay, 2014, 2013, 12, 11, all the way up to 10, I saw the same thing. And so I called one of the chefs who had just catered my 30th birthday party, and he was phenomenal. And so I was like, hey, if I started something for chefs, would you help me? He said yes, and here we are.
There you have it. This has been an exclusive interview with Courtney Mumford. How can we keep up with you, Courtney?
You can follow us on social media, Black Chefs Network. You can also follow Minority Sports Group on Instagram and Facebook. And you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram, Courtney Mumford.
Thank you, Courtney. You are such a boss, and we appreciate your mission here in Atlanta. All right, go out, mix and mingle, and yeah, congratulations to you. Thank you, and y'all stay tuned.
Running your business like a business. So often there are people with gifts, talents, some type of specialty, and they operate as if it's a hobby. Maybe you're in your kitchen and you're cooking. You're at a restaurant and you're cooking, and you're doing these things, and you're not really seeing the bigger picture. You're only seeing this income that can be derived from just cooking, but there are so many other streams of income that you can develop. So this is one of my clients. Super old school. Does anyone know Kathleen Perry? No? Yeah. It's way before all of our time in here, but she's resurfacing. But Kathleen not only was a chef, or she's not only a chef, she's still a chef today, but she also has cookbooks. She has a line of products. She was on TV. She's been on QVC with some of her projects. She also has kitchen gadgets, which we're working with her today. But she did so much more than just stay in the kitchen. She saw what she was doing as a big business, not just a hobby. So in doing that, if you're going to treat your business like a business, you have to make sure you are protected. So lots of people operate their business, they don't incorporate their business. There's nothing wrong with that. Many people ask me, Lenise, I haven't registered with the state. Am I legally doing business, or am I doing something illegal? What am I doing? Help. The answer is yes. Legally, you are still a business. You're just considered a sole proprietor. So everything that you do when you file your taxes, when you open up a bank account, you're using your social security number. Now, when you go and you register with the state to actually become we'll just call it a legitimate business, you get assigned a tax ID number. So an EIN number is also what it's called. You get assigned a number which becomes like a social security number for your business. But first, before you do that, you have to determine what type of entity are you going to be.
Hey Atlanta, this is your host Simone Jameson for On the Guest List here at the Black Chefs Network. Joining me now is Lenise Williams, serial entrepreneur, author, brand consultant, and a host of other titles. Lenise, how are you feeling tonight?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Now, what brings you out to the Black Chefs Network tonight?
So they invited me to come out tonight to talk to their guests about protecting their brand legally and also how to build a personal brand.
Great. So now I understand you are a brand attorney.
Yes.
So what type of job or role do you fulfill with that?
So I do mostly intellectual property law, so copyright, trademark, making sure that people have the right legal agreements in place to protect their business. And I also do work with, like I mentioned, with their contracts and anything else that they need related to their business. I am just obsessed with business, so any way I can help them, I try my hardest.
Beautiful. Awesome to hear that, Lenise. Awesome to hear that, Lenise. So tell me, being a brand attorney of some sort and working with these small business owners and with the legal issues, what challenges or what sort of misconceptions have come up for you that you want to debunk?
One big misconception is that it's really, really expensive to get the protection that people need. And also, I want to make it simple for people because so many people are intimidated by it. They feel like, oh, I don't need this right now. I'm going to wait until I get the money to do it, not realizing how important it is to do it right at this moment. And just like I mentioned, just making it really simple so that they understand not only that they need it, but they understand why they need it. So that way, if the issue comes up again, maybe in another business, that they know exactly what they need for the next thing that they do.
Now, have you seen any trials or any examples of people that did not have the right legalization in place that sort of took a tumble, or what type of trepidations would you say would follow not having those sort of legalities in place, like you said?
So you have the issue of maybe someone may want a clothing line, and so maybe they may put a phrase on a shirt, and they may sell the shirt, not realizing that someone else is already using that name. Or we have examples like Beyonce. You know, she had someone made some shirts called Fiancé, and Beyonce felt that was infringing on her trademark rights. So you have all this inventory, and you have all these things that you've produced with this logo and with this name on it, and now you find yourself having to find money for legal assistance, and also you have to throw away all your products because you can't sell it anymore.
Absolutely. And what a waste and what a shame that would be,
gosh,
right?
Time, energy, money, yes.
Absolutely. But you're here to sort of combat that, so...
Yes.
Yeah, so congratulations on that. Tell us more about your personal background, what made you want to become a brand attorney and really be involved in the legal scene.
Okay, so I worked as a family law attorney, and I did a lot of personal injury, and I was a public defender. And I did that for maybe about 7 or 8 years. I got total courtroom burnout, and I realized that my passion was in building my law practice. I had 2 law practices in Louisiana, and I realized my passion was in building those businesses and doing the branding and doing the marketing, and it was no longer in the courtroom. So I started doing other entrepreneur things. I stepped away from my law practice. Everyone thought I was nuts, but I stepped away from both of my offices, and I started investing in businesses, and I started opening my own businesses aside from the law practice. And I had some things that were great, some things that weren't so great, and it got to the point where people were starting to call me, say, hey, Lenise, what do I do for this? And how do I brand this? And how do I start this? What paperwork do I need for this, that, and the other? And I found myself consulting with so many people. So I accidentally fell into this, but I've learned that I feel it's true. It truly is my calling. I'm so passionate about it. Everything, from the beginning to the starting, to I call it the infant stage, and then the toddler stage, and then the adult stage. Like, I love all of that. I just love watching businesses grow and thrive.
Beautiful, absolutely. To see you really, really working it in that type of arena. So now, having been an entrepreneur and a brand ambassador of sorts for some of these companies, what tidbits of advice would you give for people coming up that want to start a business that really don't necessarily know how, or the legalities or sort of the practicalities behind it? What would you say to them?
Of course, I tell them to call me or to go to my website, LeniceWilliams.com. I have products, maybe someone that necessarily can't afford that. I have the templates. I have things that maybe if someone wants to try to do it themselves. So I would advise them to seek some type of counsel if they can't afford it. Check out the things that I have, but also just to take their business and treat it like a business. So many people have a hobby, and they don't realize that they could be making millions and millions of dollars from their hobby, but they see it as just a hobby, and so they don't invest the energy and invest the time that they should into this venture, and they're missing out on so much money just because they're simply not treating their business like a business.
I definitely agree with that. And it's so great to get that wisdom and to get that tidbit for you. I feel like that's what we need to hear more of here in Atlanta.
Because there are people, take the person that invented a pool noodle. It's a millionaire just from a piece of styrofoam floating on top of water. But the only reason why that happened is because he believed in himself, he believed in his product, he went out there and pitched it 1,000,000 times until someone finally said yes, and he had the strategies and he implemented things to perfection to the point where he could make so much money off of a piece of styrofoam.
Absolutely. I think that's crazy, but it's fantastic too. So tell us lastly, Lenice, it's been a pleasure speaking with you tonight and really getting some of these tips and sort of things from you. So where can we stay connected with you, and where can we keep up with the information that you have on hand?
So I send out a newsletter with business information. People can sign up for that at LeniceWilliams.com. That's LENISE Williams.com. I'm on Instagram, mompreneur_ESQ, Twitter, mompreneur_ESQ. I'm on Facebook. I'm everywhere, mompreneur_ESQ.
Thank you so much, Lenice. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll definitely stay on hand with that. I hope our viewers got a lot from that.
I hope so.
Enjoy the rest of your evening, Lenice. Mix and mingle.
Thank you.
Thank you for speaking with us. And thank you for keeping it locked here with Artist Corner. Stay tuned for more great footage. I'm your host, Simone Jameson. Still continuing coverage at the Black Chefs Networking event. Joining me now is Khalil Hassan, on his way to becoming a multimillionaire, y'all. He is the founder of Red Carpet Express and also a mantrepreneur. How are you doing tonight, Khalil? What do you expect to get out of tonight's festivities?
Well, I'm awesome. I'm doing pretty good. I mean, as far as what I expect to get, I mean, I'm a speaker, so I'm going to touch on a few topics: business activation, implementation, and investing. Some of the topics, but I just want to network. I'm typically on the other side of the camera, so I'm on this side today. So I'm just going to network. Just trying to drop some jewels of knowledge that I can to anyone, that I see fit, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Awesome, great to hear that. How long have you been in the business arena?
Oh man, I've been an entrepreneur since I was a kid. Just being quite honest. As far as this particular business here, this company here, I've been doing this 3.5 years. I want to say, but I mean, it's been like a transition of a media outlet into like a red carpet company. So it's really been more like 4.5 years, give or take. So yeah.
Okay. Great, awesome to hear that. And so now, being that you have been an entrepreneur since you were 6 years old, not many people can say that. What was the first business that you sort of thought up in your head as a 6-year-old? And how did those businesses kind of evolve into what you have today, the empire that you've made for yourself?
I mean, I would say that like everything was a building block. When I started, I mean, I was literally a kid that was cutting grass, raking leaves. Like whenever the season changed, that's literally what we did. I come from a family of 9 kids. Right? I had 4 older brothers, 2 younger brothers, and older sister, younger sister, and we basically, we had to kind of make it happen. Mom and dad worked, but we wanted something that we wanted, we had to go get it. And then from an early age, we were just taught to kind of be self-motivated and to go out and make things happen for ourselves. And I think, that fear, of being uncomfortable and just kind of exposing yourself and going out, and even as a kid and speaking to people, was something I overcame early, which is essentially sales. A lot of people kind of fell in business because they're scared to pick up their phone and make that call. I'm fearless. I've been told no thousands of times, so it's nothing to me. You got to get so many no's before you actually get a yes. So that's part of business. Yeah. So kind of tying into childhood to where I am now.
Absolutely beautiful, Khalil. And I love that you say that you have to hear so many no's to get that yes, but that fear did not stop you. So what would you say the sort of mindset has been for you in terms of facing challenge and facing adversity? How have you sort of dealt with that in the past, and what advice would you give for people wanting to come up as small business owners, wanting to do essentially what you do?
Well, you know what, you gotta be emotionally intelligent is the word. It's an actual word. You look it up, and you actually have, just like you have an IQ, you have I think it's an EQ, right? You just have to be emotionally intelligent. Like you can't let your emotions guide you into decisions that you regret later. You have to be mental. That's like the number one thing. Because success, it's perspective. I felt my way to success. Like any other, person, you're gonna fail your way. You're gonna get so many no's before you actually get a yes, and that's just the way it works. You just got to be able to, hit the bumps as they come, but continue to move forward, and that's essentially it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that entrepreneur attitude. You've got the smell of success all over you. Absolutely. So tell us more about Red Carpet Express, as well as some of the business and partnerships that you have right now, or that you have coming up in the future.
Okay, cool. Well, Red Carpet Express, essentially we're a red carpet service company. We create, capture, and share the red carpet experience. So we do everything from your step repeats to photography, videography, photo booths, pretty much everything you can imagine at a red carpet. Some of our clients, Own Network is one of our top clients. We've done stuff with Tyler Perry, Oprah, pretty much any major movies coming out. We do a lot of the national press runs and press tours for that. It's, that's pretty much it. We do a lot of things. You can check out our website, www.redcarpetexpress.com, or follow us at Red Carpet Express, and that's pretty much our handle on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and everything.
What is, lastly, Khalil, what is your favorite aspect of the whole entire process, be it, business, being it the entertainment and photography in terms of Red Carpet Express? What has been the best part or most rewarding for you?
I'm a business guy. I love the back end. My moments of just is just sitting in the office and doing the finance and touching the marketing and stuff like that. The events are cool. Like those, they're hyping, everything is fun. But essentially, I'm a business guy, man. I like to sit in the office and just look at the numbers, do the marketing and things like that. So yeah, that's the aspect that I love about business. Absolutely.
All right. One last thing. So what are you most looking forward to tonight in terms of the food that we're going to eat here? Because I know it's the Black Chef Network. What are some of your favorite dishes?
Well, I am a seafood fanatic. Recently a seafood fanatic. Before that I was all beef steak and things like that. But anything seafood, I'm on that. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm with you there, Khalil. Thank you so much. Go and partake in some of the seafood, and we'll see you over there. Thank you, Khalil. And thank y'all for tuning in to On the Guest List, brought to you by StreamATL.net. Don't go anywhere.
With the time that I do have, I'm not sure if I will be able to exhaust the entire time that we have here, but I will stay around for a little bit to answer any questions. But I want to really hone in on 3 points that I want to make for you today, because I believe that as chefs and as media outlets that are here, I'm not just speaking to chefs. I think it should be important that we speak to leaders. For you all to always see yourself as a leader in your industry, and never ever see yourself as a person who's a follower, but you want to see yourself as a leader. So the things that I'm going to say in these 3 statements will be actually speaking to you as a leader and not just a follower.
Thanks for watching Atlanta. I'm your host, Simone Jameson. For On the Guest List, joining me now is Sammy Hayes, editor-in-chief of Sheen Magazine here at the Black Chefs Network. How are you feeling tonight, Sammy?
I'm feeling really good. You have an amazing voice. Oh, God.
Thank you so much. I've heard that. I've heard that more than once.
I can believe that. I can believe that.
But we're not here to talk about me.
We're not.
This is about
I have to give you props, though. I have to.
Thank you so much, Sammy. Now, being such a business leader, such an innovator, being the editor-in-chief of Sheen Magazine, so what role do you sort of fall in terms of really organization, and what are you over at Sheen? What are you in charge of?
So I would say, honestly, at Sheen Magazine, I'm honestly over everything that you see. The editor-in-chief job really is to be a spider or an octopus, to have his hand or wear many, many hats. So when you talk about graphics, the layout, the content, the editorial campaigns, the social media, every faceted events, every faceted that you see that is under the Sheen Magazine brand, I'm in every part of that. Because I believe also that, it's true in life. As editor-in-chief, your spirit, your energy is in that publication during the time you serve in that position. So everything that you want to see, everything you want to visualize, fashion, hair, beauty-wise, because that's what we focus in on, and celebrity information or gossip, it's there. But it's really my energy infused with this amazing team of people that I work with there in Fountain Inn, South Carolina.
Absolutely, Sam. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize they'll see the news and they'll see the viral feeds, but they really don't understand the sort of process that goes behind putting out that sort of content. So tell us about the day-to-day functions for you. Take us inside a day in the life as Sammy Hayes, the editor-in-chief. What is that like for you?
Crazy, off the chain, but but a day in the life for me is really very hectic. But I work with an amazing team of people, from managing editor to graphic designers to PR, anything that we really need in order to make sure that we put out a quality project. I work with a great team, so we are constantly, every day, research is very important to us. We're constantly reading not only books, but we're reading social media, we're reading all of the latest news, because we always want to stay on top of what's happening in the world around us. We're always looking at what's the latest in fashion, what's the latest beauty trend, who's coming up with some innovative idea in hair, in cosmetics, in another process or procedure for bonding, or, it's all kind of things that we look for on a daily basis to make sure that when we deliver information to our readers, that we're not delivering you any information that is old or stagnant or something that everybody already know, that we're delivering honestly fresh, relevant information, which causes us to constantly be information seekers and consumers. So if you want to be in my life, that's the first thing in my life, is constantly reading, consuming information, on the phone with the team, dialogue with them, giving me their thoughts, because it can't be about me. I must have the ideas and the concepts of other leaders and other millennials, influencers, telling me and telling the team, this is what we need to look at. This is the direction we need to go. So my life is all about politics and reading.
But hey, somebody's got to do it, and do it well. So now I stay and keep connected with some of the content that Sheen has going, fashion, celebrity news. I love it, love it. So tell me, what has been some of the pieces and some of the content that you are most proud of, you as a whole, or maybe your team, in terms of viral stories, in terms of what's been trending? What are some stories that have really stuck out to you that you've done maybe over the past several months?
Well, there are a couple of things. There are a lot of things that come to mind. One of the things, let me name two. So two of the things that have been very successful, I think, for Sheen Magazine as a whole, is that we made a decision that the entire year of 2016, we were only going to do top list celebrities in terms of A-list or B-list covers. I love reality TV. Oh my God, I love the thriller. I love all of that, the drama. But I wanted to make sure that we really highlighted the women who've been in acting or in major influencing roles for years, who need to be celebrated. And for us, we did it. Like this year, we had Lynn Whitfield, I mean, we had Eva Marcel, you know, and Monica, who's a phenomenal artist, but she's an icon in my mind. You know, those were great covers. And then lastly, which is my second point, for us to get Monique on the cover of She magazine with the Almost Christmas movie that came out not too long ago, which is an amazing movie, by the way. And that cover went crazy viral. Like, we had over 5 million or more hits with that Monique cover. Like, everywhere you look, everybody had it or saw it or loved it. And everywhere I may have spoke or anytime the team was anywhere, people would stop me and say, you know, your Monique cover is fire. So for me, that was like a top of the crest for me, for the team, for the owners, who is Nairobi Haircut Professional and the publisher, Kimberly Chapman. For me to have that type of success, which is our November-December issue, like, we ended 2016 with a bang. Like, I'm so excited about that. So those were some of my highlights.
Absolutely, yeah. Fierce having Monique and Eva Marcel and they're incredible.
I mean, it was just a great year for us. Like, you know, I would say, so I really believe it was a great year for us because we went in with the intention that we wanted to have A and B listers on the cover. You know, we had Lynn Whitfield on the cover of She magazine this past year, you know, because our intention was to have it. We believed it. It manifests. So, you know, and I'm all about that, and I tell my team about that all the time. Like, we have to speak what we want this magazine to be. We have to really internalize what we want to actually manifest for us. So we name it, we believe it, we go after it, we figure it out, and before you know it, it just drops in your lap.
I love that philosophy, Sammy. That is so very important. So what would you say is next for Sheen in terms of expansion, in terms of readership? What are some of your future goals for Sheen?
One of my future goals for Sheen is to make sure that Sheen becomes this household name on a national and international level. So you can easily say Sheen magazine, and people automatically say, oh my God, I know who Sheen magazine is. So to bring it to a real national, international prominence and recognition, it has grown so much within the last 3 years. Although we're 11 years in, you know, people have really discovered us and have just really pushed us out there. And it's really mind-boggling to me just to see how we actually get followers like 100 or 200 a day. From when I first came in, it wasn't too many people out there. So, you know, we're doing a lot of great work, but for it to become a household name, for me, would be like the goal for us. And then secondly, we do every year what we call the Legendary Weekend Experience. We do it every year in Atlanta, Georgia, at the Marriott Marquis. That event is a culminating event that we do every year to celebrate Sheen magazine another year of existence. Last year we celebrated our decade. It was 10 years last year. Next year, 2017, will be 11 years for us. And we're back at it again, April 28th through the 30th. It started with like 200 people. Last year we had 550 people. So we're looking to move from 550. I want to take a big leap of faith here. I want to go to at least 1,000 for April this year. So that's aggressive, but I believe it's possible.
Absolutely, and I believe in speaking things into existence, you know, and definitely be keeping that in my calendar. Yeah, great seeing you out here tonight, Sammy. What is your role at this particular function at the Black Chefs Network?
Yes, my role here today is to speak to Black chefs and talk to them about image, brand, and also communication etiquette. And so I really share with them how important it is to really understand that image is everything. When I say everything, everything. And then to express to them, as I said in my closing and throughout the entire presentation, excellence costs more, but it pays for itself.
Absolutely. Those are fantastic last words. Thank you. Thank you, Sammy. And thank you for watching. Be sure to stay tuned with more exclusive interviews here with On the Guest List. I'm your host, Simone Jameson. Thanks for hanging with us, Atlanta. I'm your host, Simone Jameson for On the Guest List. Joining me now is Chef Rose Claire, an attendee here at Chef Black Chefs Network. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm definitely well fed at this event.
Me too. Me too, definitely.
So what brings you out here tonight? What do you expect to get out of this event?
Well, I wanted to come to this event for the networking purposes, to have a platform where there are other Black chefs that we can exchange stories and experiences and knowledge about the industry and the business, how we can better ourselves. It's great to learn from one another, So that's what I came to the event for, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how long have you been in the industry or culinary
I've
arena?
been in the industry professionally for 4 years. Going on 5 years now. Yes.
Great. So what would you say your expertise and really some of the highlights have been for you?
Wow. Expertise in culinary? I would have to say seafood in general. I'm from the DMV area, Maryland, if you guys don't know. So, we're big on crab and lobster and shrimp. So seafood and any international cuisine is, I would say, my experience. Yeah.
Wonderful. So have you had any high-profile people that you've cooked for in the recent years?
Yes, I've had high-profile clients or athletes. Maybe it was a test or a private event. I've done that as well. But it's really cool. People, you cook for celebrities, but they're just regular people, just like us. So, they may be celebrities, but sometimes they want chicken and waffles. It doesn't really matter, but you just have to be able to, switch it up and cook for what your client wants, So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, and celebrities are people too. They gotta eat. Everybody, they gotta
If you're
eat.
cooking for a celebrity, you're gonna, cook foie gras all the time or something. But like I said, they want pizza and burgers and fries, but they want that personal chef experience, someone who's gonna customize and give them exactly what they want.
Beautiful. So as a chef and being in the culinary arena for 4 years now, what would you say are some of your most demanded or like highly anticipated dishes? Dishes that people really want to expect from you?
I would have to say, being a personal chef, because you have different clients, you have different requests. So there may not be one particular dish that someone's like, I gotta have this. Unless there's a particular thing, like if you're a vegan chef, or a kosher chef, then there's a really particular thing. But me, I cook for all people, so I can cook kosher, vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, whatever they want. So I don't have a particular thing where they're like, I need to have this. But, I still execute whatever they want. Yeah.
Okay. So now, being a chef, and I would imagine you can throw down in the kitchen, what are some of your favorite dishes to cook?
I love to cook shrimp and grits. I do enjoy that. I love to cook Thai because that's my favorite food. So I cook pad Thai or Penang curry. That's pretty much my favorite. So yeah, I would say Asian cuisine, or if I'm going to do something kind of hearty, it would be like shrimp and grits. Those are my favorite.
Beautiful.
Again, see?
Yeah,
So
definitely. Shrimp and grits is definitely one of my favorite. Thank you, Chef. So give us your social media, your website, ways people can stay connected with you.
Of course. My website is www.chefroseclairemarie.com. My Instagram and Facebook handle is also at Chef Rose Claire Marie. And you can find me there on social media. And that's it. Personal chef and food stylist.
Thank you, Chef Rose. So now, one more question for you. If you weren't a chef, if you weren't in this arena, what would you be doing? What are some of your passions outside of cooking?
Great question, because I think about this a lot. If I wasn't a chef, I would definitely be a scientist. And as you know, arts and science goes hand in hand. So when I'm not cooking, I'm always watching like National Geographic, Sci-Fi Channel. I'm just a big nerd. So if I wasn't in the kitchen, I'd be in a laboratory, probably under a microscope, for sure. For sure.
Those are two really completely different industries there, Chef.
But they're different, but arts and sciences go together because it's all about theory and believing in something big and being artistic and having to go there with something, So arts and science goes together,
Beautiful. Do you have any events or anything coming up in the next year, in the far future?
I do have some things coming up, things that are on the table that I can't discuss at the moment. Still ironing out different kinks like that, but I definitely have events and things coming up. But if you follow me on Instagram, you'll keep up with the postings and what's happening and coming up this year.
Thank you, Rose. We will definitely be sure to do that. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and thank you for checking in with us here on the guest list. I'm your host, Simone Jameson. Stay tuned for more great footage. there, Atlanta. Thank you for joining us here on the guest list. I'm your host, Simone Jameson. Joining me is Chef Lola, one of the attendees here tonight at the Black Chefs Networking event. How are you feeling tonight, Lola?
I'm feeling amazing tonight. I'm so glad to be here and just networking with all these different chefs and seeing all this amazing food that they've cooked up over here. So proud.
Absolutely. So out of those amazing dishes, what are some of your favorites?
You know what? I had the tenderloin, and it was medium well, just like I like it.
I did. I really like the tenderloin as well. Yes, it was really good.
Mushroom was really good. Yes.
Absolutely. They put their foot in. They put their foot in those. So in terms of the networking aspect of tonight, what would you say you've really learned listening to the speakers and some of the discussion?
I missed one of the segments, but I caught the back end of it, which was the networking part and branding. So just the importance of your brand and not to pretty much get it, just have a sense of who you are while branding. So that's very important. And I think a lot of beginners need to learn that so there's no issues legally in the end.
Now, are you self-employed or do you work for a company?
No, I'm actually self-employed. Very much so.
Great. So what kind of dishes is your expertise?
I am I'm Latina and Creole, so I'm a mix. So I definitely incorporate my French Creole cuisine with my Dominican cuisine. So it's kind of a spicy. We like spicy. Us foreign girls, we like a lot of spicy. So definitely that.
Absolutely. And when I think of Latina, when I think of Caribbean dishes, I think of, curry chicken and, those really, really spicy
A lot of, definitely rice and beans, a lot of fried plantains, platanos, and, codfish, fried pork, just really savory dishes that you don't normally get at every restaurant. So
Good stuff, Lola. So where can we stay connected? And do you have a website or something that we can view these goodies?
But I definitely have, you could do my Facebook page, which is Glam Chef Lola, as well as my Instagram, which is Jolie Gourmand, which means the pretty gourmet. So that's where I can be reached. Yes, very French. I try to keep it that way.
Beautiful, Lola. Thank you so much for stopping here with us on the guest list. Enjoy the rest of the night. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you guys for keeping watch here with On the Guest List. I'm your host, Simone Jameson. Stay tuned for more. Hey, Atlanta. Thank you for joining us here with On the Guest List. Your host, Simone Jameson, here with Chef Shay. She's one of the attendees here for the networking at Black Chefs Network event here tonight. How are you, Shay?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. Definitely well fed and got an opportunity to sort of go around and try some of the dishes. Did you?
Yes, the dishes were very wonderful. It was a very, very good food. I had the roast beef and mashed potatoes and lots of seafood. It was very, very good. And the dessert. Beautiful. Very nice event. The food spread was really good.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate it being a fellow chef?
I would say 10. Very, very good. And the chefs were really nice and personable. I mean, it was a very, very nice array. The presentation was great. Very good. Very good.
So what information have you been learning in terms of the presentations? Anything that you had not necessarily known before?
Yes, it was really good. A lot about Instagram. Like I learned certain things where you can go to your business settings and you can find out all the, who's following you, how many clicks you're getting, things like that. So that was very informative. A lot of just knowing more about social media, how to brand yourself. What's the difference between a PR and advertising? A lot of legal information. So yes, it's been very informative tonight. Very informative.
Beautiful. So how would you say that all of that sort of fits into you being a chef. What is your personal backstory? And tell us more about your journey into culinary arts.
Okay, so my what I have right now is called Shay's Food Journey, and my journey is that I have been doing catering for about 15 years. I did a lot of catering with Delta Airlines, a lot of hotels here, to name a few, like the Wingate, the Hilton. I've done a lot of like box lunches or private party events for the corporate. So I did a lot of corporate catering. Then I went into having my own restaurant, which was Atlanta Fish Cafe. I did that for 5 years. And now I'm doing my own sauce line. So I have remoulade sauce, and it's called Divine Cuisine. And I have my own remoulade sauce and sugar spice. And so that's what I'm doing right now, is really trying to promote my product line of sauces and spices. And I also do private chef services.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so today, coming to the Black Chef Network, it really helped to learn more about networking, more about branding yourself, things of that nature, and just meeting really great people. Yeah.
Now, you do a lot, it seems, in terms of branding and in terms of promoting and in terms of your sauce lines and really some of the other projects that you have. How would you say you strike a balance between doing all of that, and where does that passion and that hustle come for you?
Well, I think it's God-given, just the passion and cooking. You know, I've been doing it. I know a lot of people say that, but I have been cooking since I was like 5 with my grandmother and my mother in the kitchen. So it's a real passion of mine. And to balance it out is just, I'm still learning how to do that. But, you know, with family and then having, you know, as being an entrepreneur, a woman, an entrepreneur, you really just have to just make time and prioritize and organize those things in your life to, you know, to become the very success that you want to be.
Now, being that Atlanta is full of chefs, and I know Ronika was just talking about this earlier, about sort of really having to find a niche for yourself and really stand out because you have so many people kind of doing the same thing you are. Yeah. So how do you sort of keep ahead of the competition, and what do you do that would you say is really a unique selling point for you?
Well, I think everyone's unique. So that's just the first thing. When you're put on this earth, you're on this earth just to be a unique person anyways. But what I do is, you know, like my sauces, no one can do that the way that I can do it, or my spices. Everyone may have their own niche on what they do, with spices or cooking or whatever, but I feel that I bring, you know, something different to the table, just of my background and the sauces that I make, and just who I am uniquely.
That's beautiful. And now, being a chef, I've got to ask you this. What are some of your favorite dishes to cook up, as well as some of your favorite dishes to eat?
I love Caribbean food, so I like oxtails and curry chicken. I like to make seafood, of course, like, you know, your salmons, your lobster, and things of that nature. And I'm kind of like a appetizer eater. I know that may sound funny, so I do like little things too, like I would say spring rolls or Asian dumplings and things of that nature. So those would be some of the good things that I like to eat. And I'm more of an international, so I really like international cuisine, like your Asian foods or your Caribbean type dishes. Or I'm from, my family's from my father's from New Orleans, so I do like the gumbos and things of that nature, and I like making those things also.
Beautiful. Like, we're here with that because I love gumbo and I love Caribbean food. I am definitely a Caribbean daughter. So great hearing that, Shay. Where can we stay connected with you and all of your culinary cuisine?
So my website is www.shaysfoodjourney.com, where you can find all different types of recipes and learn more about me. And also order my product line, Divine Cuisine product line. And I'm on social media, Facebook, Shay's Food Journey, and Instagram, Shay's Food Journey.
Thank you so much, Shay. Thank you so much for coming out here tonight and for stopping with us and hanging with us on the guest list. We really appreciate it.
It was fun.
Absolute pleasure. And you'll stay tuned for more great footage. This has been an exclusive interview with Chef Shay here at the Black Chef Network. I'm your host, Simone Jameson. Glad you're hanging with us here on the guest list. I'm your host, Simone Jameson. Joining me now is Taisha Hillsman, poet, writer, and spoken word activist here at the Black Chefs Network event tonight. How are you feeling, Taisha?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling amazing. Loving the food, loving the vibe, just loving the whole atmosphere tonight. Yes.
I second that. And I think one of our favorite parts of the evening was seeing you out there giving your spoken word testimony. Now, how long have you been a poet and really a spoken word activist?
I've been doing it for about 3 years now. I started out writing little rhymes and things, and I just decided to transfer it into spoken word as my calling to the Lord's will for my life.
Beautiful. I love that. Walking in your purpose. Yes. What would you say has been some of the highlight poems for you and ones that really stuck out to you as far as what you've written and what you've performed?
It would be my piece called Knowledge is Power, Life in a Dream, and Children All Over the World. And those are 3 of the pieces that I speak the most and promote the most, where the communities ask me to come out and speak to the people and give them some knowledge. So those are the main 3 pieces I promote the most.
Now, I know we have to ask you for this because I know the people out there are really yearning for this. Can you give us a sample of some of your spoken word and your poetry?
Yes, I'll give you a sample piece of the Life in a Dream. It goes, they say to live is to dream. But if you live in a nightmare that only makes you scream, how do you live beyond all means? Love bears all things. But if there's no love, then there's no dream. And everybody seems to grasp misery loves company. Watch the company you keep. Most companies will work you to death and won't care if your family even eat. Tell you their vision, make you the mission. And this is the American dream? Taking away your morals, preaching sex sells, but you're left with no value. And bands will make her dance seems to arouse you. They say to live is to dream, and we all have freedom of speech. But soon as you start telling the truth, you get a bullet to the head. Martin Luther King dead. They argue black or white, but if the paper white and the ink is black, then there's not one without the other. And matter of fact, the universe is filled with all the colors. We so busy debating, we never truly relating. Boy, it's your cousin, your sister, mother, brother. The father said if you his, then you should love him. They say to live is to dream, and the only way out is in a box. The sun is bright, the sky looks nice. A volcano has erupted, ash to ash, dust to dust. Heaven and hell on earth, life is a dream. Well, I guess if we speaking with an open mind, then death is the next best thing. They say to live is to dream. Well, I think it's time we start to wake up. Life in a dream.
Woo! Woo! Snap, snap, snack. Mic drop. Thank you, Taisha. That was fabulous. Oh my God. And so much history and so much empowerment behind those words. What type of community issues and things that are going on here in the country, or maybe even in Atlanta, would you say fuels your passion for writing these words? What are you thinking of when you craft up this poetry?
I believe in the Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, Christ lives. Those are the matters that make me write these things, because it's so much going on in society all over the world that make me want to stand in all lives and Christ lives, Black lives, because we need unity, we need love, and we need peace. But without unity, none of those things would come complete. So we need to unify in this whole movement. Without unity, there's nothing. We will stay divided, and every movement will be nothing without unity.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Wow, I feel like even when you're speaking, you're still like in rap form. Beautiful. Where can we stay connected with you, Taisha, and where do you perform outside of Black Chefs Network?
Yes, mainly I've been word of mouth, but I do pick up Community Cypress. Wherever people ask me to come speak, I'll be there, because I want everybody to get the knowledge, and it's just my passion to spread the word.
Absolutely. Shout out your website and social media for us real quick.
Okay, you can find me on Facebook under Taisha Hillsman, on Twitter and Instagram at spokenword_Ty, as well as on LinkedIn at Taisha Hillsman.
Thank you, Ty. You have been so inspirational. We look forward to more spoken word. Absolutely. You too. And y'all stay connected with us on social media. I'm your host, Simone Jameson for StreamATL.net. You're watching On the Guest List.
Next up is generating the content. What type of content do you want to generate? Do you want to generate original pictures and images? Or do you want to do like Black Chef Network did, where we showcase other people's images? Do you want to do videos? Now, if you do videos, you need the videos to be more intriguing. You know, you want to captivate your audience when you're doing videos. You know, are you doing a recipe for a cake or showing people how to do a simple frosting on the icing? So, utilizing videos, you don't want it to be too long, but you want it to be long enough where you're able to really captivate your following.
Thank you for joining us on the guest list. I'm your host, Simone Jameson. Joining me now is Whitney Lee, social media manager for Black Chefs Network. How are you feeling tonight, Whitney?
I'm feeling absolutely great. After the word that I have received from our different speakers, you know, I have no choice but to feel empowered to just move on with the next phase in life.
Absolutely. How did that planning and strategy come about for you? What was the process like for that?
The first process was research. I had to do a lot of research in our industry, in the culinary industry, to really grasp and understand what our customer base really wanted to showcase to them. So it was just nothing but research and just really getting lost in social media.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So outside of culinary and outside of the food, what would you say is something that really people need to know about in terms of the industry?
Outside of it, I would say that, you know, you just need to continue to research, continue to want to know what's in your industry, whatever industry you're in. You know, this isn't, what I said isn't just for the culinary industry. It's for people who want to pursue the real estate industry, the automotive industry. So, you know, it's just for a broad perspective of people that want to just have a successful social media campaign.
Beautiful. Okay, Whitney. So give us some background on you. How long have you been a social media manager, and what other accounts do you manage?
Well, this is my first social media account that I manage. I graduated from the University of Alabama at Birmingham with a marketing degree in 2012, and I was presented in this past summer, with the opportunity to work with Black Chef Network and really establish their brand and their online social media presence. So this is my first and only account that I'm dealing with right now, and it's been a phenomenal. Like, I've had so much fun dealing with the culinary industry.
Absolutely. What tidbits or words of advice would you give to somebody up and coming in social media or in the culinary industry? What would you say to them?
I would say just continue to educate yourself. You know, the more you know, the more you grow. Mm-hmm. And research didn't stop the first week. It just continued on, and I was able to build Black Chef Network followers from a little over 1,400 to over 8,000 within 3 months. So it took a lot of time and consistency, is what I say. You know, you just can't focus on the results, but focus on the process.
Yeah, now I understand. Now to go from that to 18,000, that's like a 300% increase. So what type of content, what type of strategy do you use?
I was showcasing other people's content, you know, getting other people involved. You know, when you get people involved, that's like free promotion for you. They're promoting your page on their page. So it wasn't too much hard work, but it was fun. And I like showcasing other people's work and really showcasing the people people of color in our industry, what they're capable of doing. So it was really fun. I really enjoyed it.
That's amazing. And I feel like a lot of people can learn from that. A lot of people sort of trying to self-promote and promote themselves on social media, sharing other people's content. I mean, we have to keep that in mind, you know, and pictures of food. I mean, everybody likes seeing that. I know I follow accounts like that all day. So thank you, Whitney. Where can we stay keeping in touch with you? What are your websites, social media, all that? Give us a shout out.
You can keep in touch with me at Black Chef Network, you know, on Instagram, on Facebook. You can visit us on www.blackchefnetwork.com. We have a website that's in beta version right now, but we're up and coming, and we're ready to take over the culinary industry.
Absolutely. A lot of fascinating people out here tonight. Thank you so much, Whitney. I'm loving your look. Let me just say that on camera.
Thank you so much.
Styling. You are queening right now.
Thank you.
And thank you, Whitney. And thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you've been enjoying our show so far. This is On the Guest List here at Black Chefs Network with Whitney Lee. Thanks for for tuning in. Joining me now on the guest list is Ronika Ann, founder of IGNPR and publicist for the Minority Sports Group and for the Black Chefs Network, out here just being a big old boss. How are you, Ronika?
I'm doing good. Thank you guys for coming out.
Absolutely. This has been an incredible event. So much culinary expertise, so much history, so much food, so much great people.
Yes. I just got finished eating, so excuse me. But tonight was all about putting out chefs' work, but also letting chefs know that you have to maintain and grow your business to survive. So you don't want to just focus on your talent. Focus on the business as well. Your business is not just a hobby; it's an actual business. So treat it like it.
Absolutely. So how significant is branding for business for you in terms of how you see it as a publicist?
It's very important. Black Chef Network is a very new business right now in Minority Sports Group, and so what we wanted to do was focus on the inside of Black Chef Network to make sure that all the chefs involved are aware that their brand must grow, their brand must maintain, and so we want to give them the tools for that to happen. So that's why this invite tonight was invite only. We reached out to certain media outlets, we reached out to certain special guests and influencers, and we also reached out to certain chefs. And I think we got our job accomplished. Absolutely. I think so.
Yeah, I would definitely say I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed all of it. So kudos to you. You really did it.
Thank you.
So in terms of being a publicist, what sort of planning and process goes into organizing an event, and in terms of keeping a business in a good or maybe positive light?
So first you have to understand the client's goals, and then you have to present realistic things that you can do for that client. So when we first started this event, it was so big, and I was like, hey, we're in Atlanta. You have to know this person, know that person to produce certain things. So let's start off small. Let's do invite only. Let's talk to our internal people. Let's talk to our internal network. Let's talk to the people that we already know. Let's build them, brand it with them, make sure they understand it so that we can control the narrative and put out what we want to put out about Black Chef Network. So as a publicist, I not only maintain the campaign, but I make sure that my clients understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. So with Black Chef Network and this event, I made sure she understood, look, hey, we only invite 75 people, and this is why. But our next one can possibly be 175 people. You never know. But let's test it out first. And you want to test your market first before you just, shove things out there. And then once you see that test is successful and that it worked, then you keep the consistency of what works. Because what's not broken, don't fix it. But, so that is what we did tonight. And I'm so thankful that you guys came out, because the media outlets that we invited, you guys are the ones that's pushing this narrative, pushing the story, letting people know that Black Chef Network is here to stay. Minority Sports Group is up next. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. So now we have to get a little more information about you being the founder of IGNPR. Where did that start? How did you conceptualize it? How did you grow it into the brand and sort of the powerhouse that it is today?
I'm so in love with IGNPR. I'm so in love with my business. IGN stands for ingenious, and ingenious means creativity. It means different. It means wise. It means so many different things that we are. And we take everything so serious, no matter how small or how big the brand or the event is. We take it so seriously, and it's 4 years old. I have about 8 to 9 years of experience in public relations, but I've worked for newspapers, I've worked for media outlets, I've worked for reporters, I've worked for advertisement agencies, but I wanted to have my own business, and I basically just used what I learned in corporate America to grow my small business. And that's why I'm able to write books and produce great events and stay organized, because I don't push away from corporate America. I learn from it. And I really believe that's why my business is so successful and it turned around so fast. 2016 was amazing to me. God is amazing to me. God is amazing to IGNPR. 2016 was amazing to IGNPR. So we're so excited about what's coming up, even my recent engagement. So it's just, I'm just excited about the way life is going. And I tell everyone, put who you are inside your business, and that is what's going to make it original.
That's beautiful. Congratulations on all your success and your recent engagement.
Hi. To get married fall of 2017, not saying a date because your audience is going to show up. But fall 2017, yes, I will be.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ronika. And I'm definitely a proponent of that, putting yourself into your work, into your business, and really creating a niche for yourself and something different.
We as women, we as black women, we can have it all. You know, they give us options. Oh, you have to be a mother, or you have to work, or you have to work a 9 to 5, or you have to be an entrepreneur. No, we can have it all. If you want to be a wife and a mother and an entrepreneur, you can do that. You can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. And I believe that. It's not just something that I read and that I grew up reading in the Bible. That's something that honestly, I've instilled that in my heart, and I believe that. So if I'm going to be a wife, if I'm going to be a mother, I can do all of that and still run my business.
See, now that is a boss mentality. Thank you, Ronika. So, yeah, a couple more questions for you. So, being the publicist for Black Chefs Network and Sports Minority Group, how do they sort of differ for the other clients that you have, and what are some of those other clients and people that you work with?
Absolutely. IGN, we focus in entertainment, so award shows like the Rice Awards, the Steeple Awards. We do nonprofits, so we handle anybody from that's an author or someone that has been, non-domestic violence or anything like that. We handle lifestyle, so those are your authors or anyone that is in fitness or anything like that. So we have entertainment, lifestyle, and we nonprofit, and we also handle business, small business, of course. So Black Chef Network is considered a small business client, and we help. We did the we did not do the logo. I'm sorry, but we did do all the branding that was here today. The retractable banners, we designed that. We designed the poster boards that was here, and we just basically just wanted to perfect the brand and control it and manage it before we put it out there. And that's what Courtney allowed us to do as the CEO. She trusted IGN PR with the graphics, with the press, with the content, even the idea of what you guys are seeing today. And we're thankful for Courtney's vision, and that's why I'm able to produce my great work. So a great client makes a great publicist. So, hey.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Ronika. Where can we stay posted with everything that you have going on with IGN PR? Shout that out for us.
You guys can visit us on our website, www.ignpr.com. I also have a personal website, www.ronikaann.com, and all of our social media is the same across the board at IGNPR everywhere you go. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ronika. You have been absolutely amazing.
I'm a hugger. Thank you
Being
so much.
a speaker here tonight.
Yes,
so has this event really lived up to your expectations, or what?
It really did. I'm so proud of Courtney. I'm so proud of the event planning team. SC Visionary Services. Charessa is a really great friend of mine. Everything was so amazing, and I'm so excited for our next stop in Miami. So you guys, please visit www.blackchefsnetwork.com to see where we're going next. Well, I just said it. It's Miami, but hey.
It's Miami Beach. I'm your host, Simone Jameson, joined by Ronika Ann, publicist for the Black Chef Network. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more. And there you have it, Atlanta. I hope that you've enjoyed your experience here tonight watching Black Chefs Networking. I'm your host, Simone Jameson with StreamATL.net. Thank you for hanging with us here on the guest list. Follow us on social media and look out for some of our other episodes. Thanks for watching today. See you next time.